There's this software that I've developed over the last 3 years. It's called Jammit, and it involves licensing the original masters, and we've actually gone back and transferred a lot of old analog masters from the 60s and 70s. And an interesting lesson in there is when you pull up something like Deep Purple, 16 track, recorded live, and if you were to solo any one of those instruments, nowadays with the band you're working with, they're like, doesn't sound heavy enough, man, it's not this. I think that the bands have a tendency to listen to their part and their part only, and they want to make it as big as possible. And then when it comes time to mix, you just got to somehow jam it all together and try and make it work, whereas you listen to a lot of old masters and you listen to any individual part soloed and you go, none of it sounds really good, but it all works, because it was recorded in such a way that it needed to work together. It wasn't about, okay, we'll go fix it later. We got to make this work. It wasn't about how good can this guitar sound on its own or this drum. It was really about getting a vibe and making it all work together. So I think there's a tendency for musicians nowadays to be more concerned about their part than the overall sound of how it comes together. Jammit is you think of it like it's kind of a educational tool and kind of a jamming along tool. Some people have called it like the real version of Guitar Hero, but essentially what it is it comes in a version for guitar, bass, drums. We have a vocal and keyboard. The inspiration for it came from a drummer I was working with who was a really amazing drummer, and we'd finished the session, we finished mixing, and he said, hey, can you make me a mix with all the instruments and take the drums out and just put a click track in for my students? I was like, wow, that's a great idea. You should do that for every instrument. What you can do is you can load up a song, say a classic Alice Cooper song, and you can solo the guitar, and you can hear it soloed, work on your tone. You can take the guitar out completely. You can replace it. You can work on sections where you can loop it over and over and over again to get it exactly right. You can slow it down. It displays the tab for you. So it really allows you to figure out exactly what someone's playing. I've had a lot of people see the demonstration and go, oh my God, I didn't even know that I wasn't playing Smoke on the Water correctly all these years. Mick Mars from Mötley Crüe said that. He's like, I've been playing this wrong forever. And Deep Purple is probably a good example of where it's kind of hard to hear exactly what the guitar player is doing, because you have John Lord's organ that's distorted, so they kind of mash together. So the idea is to be able to remove the instrument from the mix so you can really hear what it's doing.